The Atari Creep YouTube channel is intended for a mature audience. Regardless of the subject matter, this video may contain strong language, simulated violence, and psychological nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. Alright, let's talk about it. What's up, creepers and geekers? Chris the Atari Creep. How is everyone doing today? It was about time I got to this subject. I avoided it for the longest time, but I continue to see the argument being presented that the Intellivision Amico is akin to the Coleco Chameleon. And you know what? Regardless of how I feel about the console itself, okay? Let's throw that out. Let's just throw that out the window. Anything you feel about it, anything I feel about it, and let's just focus on comparing the two situations. I'm not going to say consoles, because first difference here is one exists and the other one doesn't. End of story. But these fucking idiots keep coming around talking about that, and you know what? It's one of a couple different people. We'll start off with the cat that keeps hearing things and regurgitates shit that they think is whatever, you know? Or people who don't understand what Coleco Chameleon really was. Really, honestly. There was a handful of us that were balls deep into that whole thing. People I know personally got kind of burnt. Got burnt into all of this. And it was just a real ugly situation. But some of these douchebags keep coming out and saying, you know, I hope you know it's just another Coleco Chameleon. So, once and for all, I figured, fuck it, I will tackle the subject, we will talk about it, I will try to compare the two consoles to see if they have anything in common whatsoever, and then I'll just let you be the judge. And if you want to fucking be a smartass and be like, nope, it is, then, you know, that says a lot about you, your personality, and of course your ability to think critically. Alright, so let's start with the origins of both of them, okay? Coleco Chameleon actually started off as a concept called the Retro VGS. A dude named Mike Kennedy, and I don't remember who he had with them, and there are going to be some points that I'm not going to remember. It's been so long, alright? So just forgive me for that. You can correct me down below. But at this point, does it fucking matter? We're just going to get to the meat and potatoes, the bare bones of the stuff. So, Mike Kennedy, we'll just leave it at that. Very prolific in the retro gaming community, has a decent resume up until this point, to my understanding anyway. I hadn't heard of him until this, so, but I had heard about a few of his previous projects. Somehow acquired the tooling for the old Atari Jaguar, okay? He acquired the tooling for the console and, of course, the cartridges. And somewhere in acquiring those, he decided he wanted to make a new console using a failed console's aesthetic, which is still cool, man. I dig the Atari Jaguar. I would like to own one day. I've never owned one. He decided he wanted to make a video game console, so I can't speak today. Acquired the tooling to make the shells and the cartridges. And then came out saying, I'm making a brand new cartridge-based system, and I want to call it the Retro VGS. Now, let's go back to, or let's start talking about Intellivision's origins. Tommy Tallarico acquires the company, one way or the other. He had this idea growing since before he became part of the Intellivision equation, if you will. And he started talking to people before, and the idea was kicked around for this Amico concept, and people were liking it. And when he had the opportunity to become the CEO, to become leadership within the organization, of course, his idea started to flourish. So it was a pre-existing idea that came in, and he was able to acquire the company in which to do so. Versus a gentleman acquired some plastic, or some tooling to make plastic, and said, I'm going to make a console out of this. No, there's a lot more to it than that. But then, out of nowhere, VGS disappears. I would say somewhere between 6 to 8 months, maybe. Again, correct me down below. But then out of nowhere, he popped back up and said, okay, we're ready to rock and roll. And we're able to use the name Coleco. So Everyone say hello to the Coleco Chameleon. But he came out and said, I was able to acquire the name Coleco. So here's the next big difference. He went to a company that owns the name, to use the name Coleco, I should say. They have the rights to anything with the Coleco branding on it from their ownership forward, okay? And he bought into that. He made a deal with them. Can I please call my console the Coleco something or other, eventually the Chameleon. It's a little bit of recognition, and I think it would help my product. And they made a deal. They made a deal, and now it's branded as a Coleco product. Unfortunately for Coleco. What exists in Intellivision today owns the rights to it. They're their own company. So it's an internal thing versus an external thing in this case. They're borrowing the name. Intellivision themselves, in today's market, is bringing you this product. It's their name, it's their product, it's their risk. That's a huge fucking difference. I keep looking down at notes, so please excuse that. So after some time goes on, Mike Kennedy takes the Coleco Chameleon out to, I believe it was a toy fair. It was like a toy demo show. I can't remember. I just remember it was a really big show. And he brought it there. It had Super Nintendo controllers popping out of it. But you know what? This thing is still in development. So we bought into it for a little bit. But he's holding cartridges. You know, I have an actual cartridge right here. I still haven't played this yet. But he's holding it very, like, what the fuck? And he had to put it in the machine just right. But after people took some pictures, and it was displayed just so. It was a fucking smoke and mirrors act. It was quickly discovered that there was no original technology in that whatsoever. Either him himself or him in a team, or maybe it was somebody else's idea. I don't know. But somebody took the more budget-friendly version of the Super Nintendo. I don't want to call it the Super Nintendo Mini or the Super Nintendo 2, because there's a Super Nintendo Mini that went out with all the games built into it. This was an actual cartridge-based system, shrunk down to be a more budget-friendly Super Nintendo. But they took the board from that and they jammed it right in the back. As soon as I saw the back picture, I knew exactly what it was. That was one of my favorite systems at the time. I had somewhat recently acquired one, and I liked it better than my original Super Nintendo, which I had given away as a Christmas gift to a member on the I.O. forums during a Secret Santa. So people started being like, what the fuck? Really? Did you really jam a Super Nintendo in this thing and try to pull the wool over our eyes? Whereas the Intellivision Amico has been out and about multiple times. Sure, as a demo unit, but it was still its own original thing. And people were able to play it. Originally, it was behind curtains. You know, there was some YouTubers or whatever, some influencers that got their hands on this thing. They physically got to play it and look at it. There was no smoke and mirror. It was right there on the table. Boom. I don't think anyone let them touch it, but it was there. It was there. And then it went to multiple places in public. You know, it went to that Lego joint, and then it went to the Crayola joint. This past weekend, it was at some place called Boomers. The Amico's been the Amico the whole time, and the Coleco Chameleon came out as a fraud. Instantly. Instant fucking fraud. Everyone's expectations of this thing dropped. Later on, they come back out, and they're like, all right, well, we have our stuff. We have our stuff together. Here it is. And they even had a clear shell so you could see the brand new technology. And they were so fucking proud of this thing. They were like, wow, look at it. And it didn't take the cats over at Atari Age very long at all to research the board. You know, boards have numbers, guys. They have numbers for a reason. And it turned out to be a capture device, capture card. It was either a capture card or some kind of a video in or output device. Regardless, again, it's been so long. Correct me down below. But it was some kind of a video card. And people went all over that shit. Whereas, you know, the Amico has pretty much been the Amico. Nothing's changed. They've added more games to the roster that people can play in public here and there. That's really all there is to that. Intellivision has a product that people have played. That's all theirs. The Coleco Chameleon never had anything but a plastic shell. I don't know. It makes no sense to me. One existed and one doesn't. People want to compare the fucking thing. So I guess at the end of the day, here are the biggest differences, and this should end the argument altogether, though it's not going to. Coleco Chameleon never existed. The Amico does. The only things they have in common is that it is a name, a brand name from the same time period, using the name to come out with something new. That's it. That's it. That is legit the only, you know what I mean? I mean, there may be other little teeny little things here and there, but at the end of the day, that's the only way you can compare the two. There, I finally discussed it. Now I don't have to ever again, and I'm happy about that. So, I mean, did I make any points here? Did I make any sense at all? Again, thumbs up, thumbs down. All feedback to me is positive. But that's just one fat fuck's opinion, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, so I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, Alzheimer's Association, all the links down below. The walk is at the end of this month. We're getting there. Guys, get me to $2,000. Just get me to $2,000. That's all I'm asking. I was hoping for 25, but get me to $2,000 before the 26th, and I'll be happy. And I'll figure out something for you guys to do live to make myself look like an idiot. Suggestions are always accepted. And we'll be giving away the Necronomicon console sometime this week. That sold out fucking fast. Like, I have people behind all those people looking to get in, but I wanted to keep it fair and only do 25 spots. I didn't want to add to it. So maybe we'll do something later on, and we'll get you all involved. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I can't say it enough. And until next time, hope you're doing well. Take care. Creep it real. And bye-bye.